They'll lynch you, but he did, and he laughs at
Hi everybody, Russ from the West End Network. Hope you are all safe and well. As the song goes, what a difference a day makes. 24 little hours. Let's talk about what's happened in the last 24 hours, shall we? So, what's going on? What's going on, everybody? Oh, dear. As I said, if you're new around here, give it a like, give it a comment, give it a share, give it a subscribe. Hope everyone is safe and well. Obviously, so, let's take you back. Where are we going? We're going back. So, yesterday, we announced that it was widely announced, Sky Sports, X, Darmesh, that we had a bid accepted from by Lille for the midfielder Amadou Onana, with a 20-year-old, 6'5", big lad, €35 million plus 5 million add-ons, and with personal terms to be negotiated. So now we tell you 24 hours later, and it seems that he fancies a move to Everton over West Ham. Now, we've had this before. Haven't we? We've had situations where we've had the Lingard situation, for example, where families get involved as agents, and it doesn't quite work like that. Now, apparently, we're in the same situation now. By all accounts, his sister is involved in Amadou's sister is one of 3 owners of Belgium-based Be The Future Management, and apparently is the driving force behind the player's outrageous wage demands. She's apparently demanding £135,000 a week, which simply we will not pay. Which is absolutely ridiculous. Obviously, so not only will Onana get a nice chunk, but also she'll get a nice chunk in terms of, it's usually about 20%, is it, for agents. So that's where we're up to now. Now, considering the guy has only had between 6 to 30,000 euro a week, depends about how you're looking at it, it seems absolutely ridiculous. Now, I think there's a second sort of string to this, in that it seems that Moyes and the board are thinking, well, for the transfer fee potentially, but the transfer fee plus 135 grand a week, it would make him the highest earner in the club. They're thinking, actually, But what surprises me even more so is, how can Everton afford it? Everton sold Richarlison pretty much on the last day of May, wasn't it? I think, or something like the last day of June, last day in June, to make sure they fall underneath the the FFP and all that type of thing. And they must have also spent a shed load on bloody what's his face as well. The old James Tarkowski, in terms of that. So how has that worked out as well? I can't see them Everton being able to afford another 35 million euro for a player, plus playing 135. It's not going to happen. I can't see Everton having the money, in all honesty. And then we have the news of the KOSTIC signing, where apparently he's waiting for Juventus to come in. Hasn't discredited West Ham completely, but Juventus Italy, he wants to play for Juventus, wants to play for Italy. Fair enough, that's his aspirations. And And then, just as I was going to jump off a cliff, the news that apparently we'd had our initial bid rejected for Cornet. Now, by all accounts, that may have been the loan offer, because actually X today has said that we have had a bid accepted. We've activated the £17.5 million activation clause, which sounds to me that the KOSTIC deal is gone. That's what it sounds like. It's like, right, okay, we're going to go all out for this dude now. Anyway, let's have a look who we've got in the chat firstly. Amadou Doodoo, Push Pineapple joins Toffee. Very good, Jim. Cornet has a toe injury. Well, apparently, ONANA has is it hamstring or a tendon injury as well? Mustard Man, hope you're well. Paul, hope you're well. Jan, hope you're well. Gaz is in the house, gutted about ONANA. Well, we'll wait and see. His preference is Everton. I think also from a not from a professional standpoint, but Everton are in desperate need for a central mid. I think we're in desperate need for a central mid cover, and so he'll go in and probably go into the first team. Well, he'll walk into the first team at Everton. Well, I think West Ham, he's got to compete for it as well. So, Webley, hope you're well. Gaz is here. Onana, make it sense. Well, that's how I'm trying. That's what I'm trying to do. There's some nice club you got on, Russ. Thank you very much. Anyone wanting to hold us to ransom can jog on. I totally agree. Nice singing, as I said. I'm the bowling Buble. I've got the right humbo. This is Jimmy Beasley. The kit looks good. Thank you very much. How are Everton? I don't know. Barcelona are the same, aren't they? I have no idea whatsoever. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. What else we got? If we are willing to spend 40 million on a player, then why penny pinch the wages? But David, would you want to spend 135 grand a week on a player who has made 60 appearances, 55 first team appearances in his career, who would go in and earn more than the likes of double of what Skamaka is going to be earning, more than Declan Rice, more than Jarrod Bowen, more than Zuma? I don't think so. Was so looking forward to seeing Onana in the West Ham. Well, we don't know. Absolute joke. Why does it take 4 attempts to sign him? Well, we're taking 4 attempts to sign him. I understand that. That's not a problem. But it's the next thing that really frustrates me is how we can I just don't understand how it works. How we can't. There's surely we would have had an idea about what his entourage would have wanted, and it just seems a bit weird, to be honest. We need a left back, more than an overpriced midfielder. I totally agree. Good afternoon, Stephen. Hope you're well. Everyone's talking to each other. Lovely. How can this happen again? Firstly, Lingard's stolen from under our noses. Well, I don't think he's stolen usually. One, I just think we're not going to pay 180, 200,000 pounds a week for Lingard, are we? We said this is what we're going to pay you. This is it. This is our wage structure. Now, I think Everton, if they're going to be paying 100, I just don't get it. It seems too much. It seems far too much, in my opinion. But we shall see. Other players will be peed off. That's what I mean. It's not just the fact. I mean, they could easily, in terms of the structure, can pay someone 135. I mean, as I said, they were looking at offering Lingard, I think about 850, wasn't it? 130, 150. But it's the effect it will have on the rest of the team. So, that automatically goes, right, okay, well, if he's on 135, then I should be on 135, and yeah, it's weird. Irons, good morning. Money, indeed. Tell her to do one. Yeah, thank you. But let's move on to someone who actually wants to play for the badge or the love of the game. Yeah, willing to pay ridiculous wage demands. Good luck to him. We're better than both times we play them. But also, we had similar situations this season, and we've stuck to our guns. I know it's frustrating, but we've stuck to our guns. And I'm thinking about Boubacar Kamara from Aston Villa, who apparently is going to be, he's on like £180,000 a week. He turned down Atletico Madrid to play for Aston Villa because they were offering 180 grand a week. I think we're in a bit more of a privileged position where, I mean, Onana's not going to Everton because they can offer European football. because they can't. They stayed up, not by the skin of the teeth, but they stayed up, the squeaky bum time last season. So it's not that either. So I think it's going to be, it's purely for the money. This is hiding the fact that we should have tied this deal up there, then there wouldn't be a problem. Well, I think we still would have to pay 135 grand a week. If that's what he wants. Nathan says because it was a free transfer, you're only paying his wages, plus you're paying a signing on fee as well. So say even if it's a £3 or £4 million signing on fee, at least I think he's technically he's an England international. He's going to be over £100,000 a week. He's going to be on, isn't it? Surely. Everton has sold half the team. There, of course, they could afford him. Well, I don't think they can. Their wage bill. I remember listening to Gio on Hammer's chat, and they had Kieran Maguire on. I think it was last season. They were talking about wages per income, and I think we were quite high up, about 65%. Everton were at 90%, so I can't see it happening. KOSTIC to holding us to ransom. Yeah, he is, but for me as well, I think with KOSTIC, he's also got a desire to play for Juventus. That's his team, so I don't think there'll be much money difference between us and Juventus, really. Actually, I think Juventus might even probably pay him less, to be honest, knowing that, but we'll see. When will people learn no one is signed until they sign? Stop listing players in lineup until they're signed. Too many celebrations. We were, weren't we? We like good news, Peter. Any news is good news for us, and unfortunately, sometimes things fall through. Lingard, everyone thought Lingard was in the bag, innit? No way Everton can afford 40 million. They spent 20. That's what I mean. How can they can't... How can they possibly afford that, having spent 20 million on McNeil, having spent, although not given to Burnley, a signing on fee for James Tarkowski, plus they've got a couple of loan signings, didn't they? They bought the Portuguese guy on loan. They were looking at getting their former midfielder, he's at PSG, Gay, that's it. Idrissa Gay, and then this just can't happen. Tell him to get stuffed and we should move on to the next target. Don't want him now. Agents really are the scum. They are indeed. I am getting fed up with what this is going wrong with this club. I blame Moyes. Players do not want to play for him. It's money. It's all money, isn't it? Football is about money. It's a job. It is a job. It's the same thing with Lingard. A man who should not be named, and I thought we weren't going to bring him back up, but it's actually reinvigorated that discussion as well. He wanted to come to West Ham, but he got more money going to another club. It's the same with ONANA. The fact is West Ham have come in. Lille, to be honest, don't need to sell him really. They've sold Botman, so they've got plenty of money in the bank. But they thought actually this is a too good deal to be missed. And he could be shit next year, and then his value will plummet. So they wanted to get pay for him while it was high. And it's just come down to money. Same as Kostic. Kostic, he didn't necessarily want to play for West Ham. He wanted to stay at Frankfurt or go to Juventus, which is his club. So again, it's like I can't blame the players. I can't blame Moyes. At the end of the day, he's brought someone like Scamacca in. Scamacca could have easily stayed in Italy. He could have stayed in Serie A. He could have gone to Juve. He could have stayed at Sassuolo. I can't never pronounce it. But he's come to West Ham and he's come for the project. He's come because he likes what he sees. We're offering more money, but it's not extortionate. He's done. I think he's doubled his wages, but he's only on about 20-30 grand before, so he's only on about 60 grand a week anyway. But in football terms, for a Italian international for their number 9, that's not a bad deal. So same as Areola wanted to sign back for West Ham. Again, he's got a Gerd in. He's Flynn Downs. I think it's different because you've got that West Ham sort of West Hamness. So he was always going to play for his boyhood club. But I wouldn't blame Moyes, Jim. I understand what you mean, but I wouldn't blame him. Why do we never have a comfortable... When was the last time we had a comfortable one? I don't know. Helen, I got my season ticket card. Well done. Just Everton as an excuse to get more money out of us. Possibly, BZ. Possibly. We know Lille did the same thing. We tried to do the same thing, and they wanted more money. No, more money. And eventually they caved in, so to say. I think Onana would walk... I don't know. I don't think he would. He'd need to fight to get his place. Who in the right moment for Everton? That's probably going down this season out of business next, indeed. I'm not spending like... Yeah, indeed. Absolutely mental. On £5 a week, jog on, son. I've ordered a Catalonian calculator. I think we all should. And we just end up with lots more money. Russ, can't believe that just because we go for players that they think they can ask for out-of-the-world wages. Well, I think also they think Premier League are going to pay him more anyway. So naturally... And he's on apparently, I mean, I've seen one website says he's on £5,000, another website says he's on about 30. But even that, you know what I mean? I think even if 70 grand or, that's still double his wages. But they've seen it as a potential bit of, a money earner. And the agency has too. The agency's his sister as well, so it's got the whole Lingard thing about it. Russ can't believe... sorry, we just said that, sorry. Why would his preference be Everton? Money! That's why. Agent's greedy. Everton can't afford him, really. He's been ill-advised. Well, we'll see what happens, innit? I'll be surprised. I just can't see how Everton will be able to get him. When they're looking at getting, Issa Gay in on a loan from PSG, and PSG paying his wages or paying a part of his wages, they're on a shoestring budget. Where have they found 35 million euro behind the back of the sofa? He's got a sister. Sounds like an awful blister. Yeah, indeed. Oasis were right. Can't help if he wants to go elsewhere. His choice. It is his choice. It's his choice. No player should be considered if they demand extortionate wages. We cannot bankrupt the club to satisfy the FIFA generation. I totally agree. I made that penny pinching comment before I knew what he's asking for. I was thinking quadruple his wages. What was about the level we'd be looking for? I think that's what we probably offered. I don't know what we offered, but they want double that. His entourage have said Onana wants Everton. We want Everton because they've got him more money. Onana's on £6,000 a week a year. We dodged a bullet with Lingard. We did. Let Onana go to Everton. Pick him up half the point when they were relegated. Sounds good. Scheduling Hammer's chat on 12:30. Unbelievable. X reporting we've bid. Well, apparently we're looking at Arthur Melo from Juventus. But that would be like 50 million quid, really, wouldn't it? For someone like Arthur Melo from Juventus. Apparently it's us and Arsenal are both interested in him, but I can't see that one happening. If he goes to Everton, he will get sold again next year to make them FFP agent, then collects 2 fees. Good point. Bloody good point. What makes me is when we've been chasing this lad for a while, we have, and you think due diligence would have assumed that we'd have sounded out the types of, but until obviously we have a fee agreed with the team we're buying from, we can't really have a conversation about contracts with the player, really, can we? His sister is off there, nut demanding that. X did warn personal terms could be an issue a few days ago. What does in my head is surely that should have been sorted out before the offer. I don't think you can off the record. I know that's the trouble, that he's off the record. It's all a plot to get more from us. Well, maybe, that was the Lingard idea, wasn't it? It's like, we're going to offer more money. That's fine, good luck to you. Okay. It's now coming out, he's only getting, he's not. He's not. Maybe basic, but not with everything else added onto it. I guarantee you he'll be on a lot more than what we offered. A lot more. This would be a blessing in disguise, as these close family relationships agents always end up in trouble. Too much greed for them. Arnautovic and his brother. Look what he did. It's all about money now and not about the game. I think it has been for a while, to be honest, unfortunately. Heard it's 120 with bonuses. No, it's more than that. We're sticking to our guns, but if we want to stay where we are, we need to learn that we're going to have to be paying these wages. Yeah, pay the wages for someone who necessarily deserves the wages. Onana is still 20. He's still only made 50-odd appearances for Lille. Professional appearances. He's only one season at Lille. So it just seems far too much. And it's not just necessary for the player, but then the knock-on effect to the rest of the team. Everyone talks to each other. Dave, thanks for joining us, man. Same team as the one played back end of the season against it. Pete, that's what I said, man. Go back and I talk about, I think about a week and a half ago, I spoke about the lineup for the City game, and I think it's pretty much going to be the team that started the last game. In all honesty, with Agard being injured, and I think I think Skamaka will probably start on the bench, in all honesty. All right, Martin, all right, he seriously wants 100. No way. That's what I mean. We shouldn't be out, and the anger shouldn't be towards Moyes at all. Because actually, I think he's doing the right thing. We're paying you this. If you can go and get double your money, I don't know what they've offered him. I don't know. I'd assume it's on something comparable with what they've offered Skamaka, because it's roughly the same amount of thing as well. It's a lot more money than he's been on now. This is what we're offering you. Now, the only thing I can think of with Everton is ONANA is a Belgium international. The Belgium national team is Martinez, isn't he? And Martinez used to manage Everton. So maybe, I'm again speculating. I love to speculate. But Martinez may have go there, I know what I'm talking about. I'm the Belgium coach. I've managed Everton. Everton are a good side. West Ham, I don't know. Are you going to get into the side? That type of thing. Just speculate. Goes to Everton and gets relegated. If he's that greedy, 26-year-old, he's good, but not that good player. I totally agree. The usual seems to be agree personal terms before agreeing formally. Then it's tapping up, and then we shouldn't waste our time like this. Yeah, fair play. Must seriously be considering if he's taking this long to decide. I think Dabs is waiting for Juventus, in all honesty. I'd want Kiara Walsh in the first 11 over ONANA, fair enough. Juventus are said to be offering $2 million less fee for KOSTIC, so it's whether they can agree the fee with them. I assume Everton will sell a couple if they do manage to sign ONANA, but who are they going to sell? Who's it going to sell? I mean, Calvin Phillips, but he's injured, isn't he? Calvin Phillips. You know what I mean. Calvert Lewis. But he's injured, isn't he, as well? So does ONANA feel he has more chance? That's the only thing as well. He comes into a side which have got Allen, who's not great. He's on his last legs. Decore didn't have a great season last season. They haven't got... They're looking at Adisagay as well. So there is a spot there where at West Ham, it's him basically fighting Thomas Souček for that second spot, realistically. So there we go. Wake up, Spill the Moses. People, blame the greedy players. Do you actually think someone who's money... Do we actually want someone who's money motivated? Indeed. Skamaka didn't come for the cash. He certainly didn't. He'd probably get a lot more if he went to PSG, for example. And, by all accounts, PSG came late in the day, and they said, no, I'm staying at West Ham. Hi from Canada, the club must be held over a barrel must not be held over. Indeed. And I think we came out, and I know there's frustration with the Lingard situation, but I think the club came out quite well about that, to be honest. And I think there's a flip side now. Again, he only offered 80. I don't think so. I'm shocked we're getting managed. Yeah, I totally agree. Is there any credible source through the Everton link, or just his greedy sister stirring the pot? I think the latter. Afternoon, Rich, and happy birthday to Jake. Jake's birthday is 15 today. Happy birthday, Jake. And ONANA will want to leave Everton when they're relegated. What's today's news? Oh, what a difference a day makes. That's basically the tagline of my show today. ONANA wants to go to Everton. KOSTIC wants to go to Juventus. But the little chink is apparently we have activated the release clause, £7.5 million release clause for Maxwell Cornet. So that's a good thing. So we could get, and I know the ONANA is we've got covering, we've got one cover, and apparently Connor Coventry is impressing David Moyes. By all accounts, is just sort of verbatimly going through what X has said, paraphrasing it, and so there would be cover at centre midfield. So it is really the left sided. We need that player in, and it could be Maxwell Cornet. So there we go. 100k plus is a joke. I don't blame the club for putting it, but me neither. I mean, they haven't pulled the plug yet, but that's the difference. How the draw of London not be better by... That's why. Could be worse. Could be standing... Oh, yeah, it's pretty bad, isn't it? It's Southend, isn't it? I agree, Garino. The club should move on for this. The new shirt still looks like it's got mashed up in the washing machine. Thank you. What have we got here? Let's focus on the Cornet positives. Indeed, positives. I think he'll do well, especially linking with Skamaka. Also, I read last night that Raspadori, Skamaka's teammate, has handed in a transfer request for Sassuolo. So could you imagine? Get that? And he could play at 10. Could you imagine, my friends? Could you imagine? Not going to happen. Not going to happen. But yeah, it would be incredible if it did, to be honest. Absolutely incredible. Trini, we would get his name, he'd get his game time without a record injury. He certainly would. Surely you must come. He's 20, isn't he? 20 being badly advised. Tom, hope you're well. Footballers in general want to play football for the love of the game. It's agents who have corrupted their minds in the game in general, particularly when your agent is your sister as well. It helps. It doesn't help, rather. Our midfield is the only part of the team that hasn't had a bad injury. Touch wood. Don't forget Declan's will be out for both of the playoffs, home and away, because obviously he got his suspension shouting at the ref after the game the other day. Not the other day, but the Frankfurt game, and obviously Cresswell won't be playing for the first leg because he got sent off, didn't he? I think it's only one game he misses because he got sent off at the Frankfurt game. And David Moyes won't be there because he's got one match ban for kicking a ball boy. So all in all, it's going well, isn't it? It's going well. Thanks, Russ, but I'm not happy. Miele already agreed Valencia loan. Well, there we go. I thought we were looking at him, but I didn't think we were going to put a bid in for him. Moyes' team can't sort out transfers. Gary, I don't think it's a case of him sorting. I think it's a case of actually Moyes' team have got principles and they've got a wage structure and they don't want to be held over a barrel. Personally, you see things that we've missed out on. Lingard offered a lot more money than what Forest offered him, a stupid deal on a 1-year contract, and this one, ONANA, same thing. Just at work, can I get a rundown of what I've missed? Right, Revo. So basically, ONANA wants to go to Everton, apparently, and it's to be honest, it's definitely purely down to money. I'd say apparently his sister, who is his agent, wants demanding £135,000 a week for somebody who's played 55 games. You have to approach the club, then the player, otherwise it's called tapping up. Exactly, Trini, that's the thing. 3 goalkeepers on the bench is next season, as we will struggle to get players in. Rice's agent is his dad, just saying. He is his dad agent. And actually, in some respects, that works really well. Because they've got the player's best interest at heart, but this is just a money grab. It's just money grab. And to be honest, Rice could have signed contracts before and got double his money with us, really, or not double, but 50% pay rises and things like that on his contracts, and he hasn't, because it's not necessary. I think he's got his contract, and I think he's sort of going to be winding it down unless there's been a massive improvement in terms of investment. And if say we get Cornet in, so that's roughly £100 million we've spent this transfer window already. And at Hammer's headlines tonight, I talk about an interview that Moyes did with the Evening Standard, where Moyes is basically saying he wants more. He wants more signings. He wants quality over quantity. It's easy to sign a player, but it's hard to sign quality players. I think that's the issue. No player should be allowed to waltz into a club and demand. Moyes is right to tell him his entourage to do on. Exactly. As it stands, I feel like paying this level of money for a homegrown is better. There's nothing to say these important players will fit into the league. Exactly. And Moyes made that point about Skamaka as well, saying he needs time to adjust. He needs time to adjust to his setup, so in terms of his surroundings. So we'll see. We say that in 6 games and we lose 5. Cornet to West Ham, everyone wants to see that happen. We certainly do. More importantly than is a left back, second striker and centre back cover. Wow, indeed, Greene. So maybe rather than spending €35 million on ONANA, say what's 75? It's about 20. So say 30 million roughly in pounds for ONANA. 17 for Cornet instead gives us another 13, 15, and spending it on left back cover. I worry about the same team that finished, and probably Forest, with such a poor pre-season. Didn't have that bad. Not that bad. We've only lost 1 game in pre-season in the last 2 years, Jason. And pre-season is about leg stretching, isn't it? Really. But let's wait and see. I think Skamaka is going to be a massive. There were so many times last season where we lost games or we drew a game because we didn't have a Skamaka type player. We didn't have someone with striker instinct, someone who's been playing from a young age as a forward, rather than someone like Mikel, who did a great job, but he's not forward by trade. So I think that'll make a big difference. We didn't complain when we nabbed. You're totally right. You're totally right. You're totally right. We did that. Palace had got the board accounts, had got the Downs sign, the shirt done, ready for the announcement, and we swooped in last minute. Didn't see us complaining about that. Moyes rung up Aubameyang, so I don't get that, Russ. Moyes rung up Aubameyang, but I think it had already been agreed. Again, the whole thing with Skamaka, we don't know when the bid was accepted, and obviously if Moyes is talking to Obiang rather, that's not a tapping up. He's asking, it's very murky, Gaza. It's very murky. Hopefully we get Pedro on soon. We're trying to get him on. I wonder who our other midfield targets are apart from ONANA. We wasted so much time on Lingard, and now doing the same with ONANA and KOSTIC. Yes, I mean, for me, I would concentrate on getting that left-sided sorted. Let's get Cornet in, let's get a left back in, and then come back into. And then I think I still think there'll be a cheeky loan, like a couple of loan signings or something like that, just to pad out the squad. I think I could see us coming back in for Brozier on loan, maybe towards the end of it if no one's gone in for him. Maybe look at Aguerd's story. Russ, does Diop look unhappy? And look at his leg. Look, story, Russ does. I think I don't know. I don't mean Alpha, but yeah, I mean, it's. I feel sorry for Aguerd because I think Diop thought, okay, great, I can move on, and yeah, his mind was set to go and his mind was set to move on, and he's sort of like, no, you've got to stay here now. So there's going to be frustration. Onana wants to join Everton. He prefers Everton over West Ham because they're paying him more money. Has said he would love to play for Liverpool one day, so maybe using Everton as a stepping stone. Maybe it was family problems. Who knows? The only place Everton are going is down. In every transfer, there's always some bad news with West Ham. Is Connor too small? No, I think Connor will be all right. Would love Raspatori indeed. Likes and subs. Thank you, Isle of Cluck. If you are new and you'd like to subscribe, hit the subscribe button. Why not? We've got some great, honestly. Tomorrow we've got a good show. Tomorrow's gonna be a good show. We're looking forward. Tomorrow I'm gonna park transfers. I'm gonna look at the season ahead with optimism as I always do. And we've got. Sorry, Siri. And we've got comments. We've got video predictions from the likes of Stuart Slater, Robbie Slater, West Ham clips. Hopefully tricky Trevor Sinclair. Kaz Pennant, bless me, sent me a little predictions video as well, and we'll be getting your predictions about what the season ahead's above us, so that'll be all good. Positive news, we are not shambles, that is Man United indeed. As a Man United fan who was on Jake's show yesterday, when they asked what he wanted for this season, he said not to be on the front pages, be on the back pages, and I get that. Get Raspatori would be great, wouldn't it? Napoli are selling all their players, or so it seems. Well, apparently it's a lot of money, for Zelensky, and it would cost probably about 100 grand a week, he reckons, as well. Cornet is crap, we do not want him. GSB out with Moyes, says Paul. God bless him. Evening from the land of Oz. Onana now a no-show. Well, as Jimmy said right at the beginning, Amadou push pineapples joins Toffees. That's basically it. Just buy Sister of Sunbed. Job done. Was it Redknapp bought? Was it someone? There was a famous story about that, wasn't it? Was it Ferguson or someone? And they ended up buying. No, it was Gaza, wasn't it? Gaza, when he signed for Tottenham, and they bought the Sister of Sunbed or something like that as well for the sweetener. Who are we looking at left back? Luke Thomas from Leicester, we were talking about. Angelino, maybe, from RB Leipzig. Alex Grimaldo's still around. Borna Sosa hasn't gone anywhere. There's some left backs around. There are some good left backs. Robert, hope you're well, my friend. Moyes look at a couple of keepers as he's short in that department, indeed. The player is greedy and Moyes not having it. Can't see how that is wrong, Percy. I totally agree. Corner accepted or bid. Just need agree, then he'll be a hammer. Hopefully so. Hopefully so. I think that will be a good boost coming into the beginning of the the weekend. That'd be great. So there'll be someone else to chuck money out when they play. Indeed, I think CORNET will be that left back. I don't be left back, he left wing back. That's what worries me slightly about that, but we'll see. CORNET had 4 goals in 3 games for Man City. Wow, fair play. Sorry to Rice, this not going forward. I think we are. I think Scott Macker. I think with everyone fit, I think Agard sorts out your centre backs. Areola gives you your number 1 goalkeeper for the next 5 years. I think, although I do think Fabianski will start on Sunday, to be honest. But it's just that left back I think we need sorting out on the left hand side. But we'll see. Everyone at a slating Moyes on the board, but I totally agree. Do you know what, Scarber? I am totally in your camp. Totally. Is it true that CORNET is sponsored by Wolves? Very good. And the joke yesterday, was it you, Peter? It was you, wasn't it? His shirt number's 99. Does anyone think we still need a left back for cover after Yarma left? No, I don't think we do, because I think you got the flexibility of putting Vlasic there if need be as well. That's way down in the pecking order, I think, in terms of what we need to do. I know a Burnley fan who raves about CORNET. Get it done. Moyes has lost the plan, has lost the plot. There's no plan A, there's no plan B, so it has to go. Paul is full of joy as always. Pre-season means nothing. Indeed. Come on, Russ, it was shocking. It was not great, but Avram Grant won every one of his pre-season games for West Ham. The boys of 86 didn't win a single pre-season game. Just saying. Hammer's looking at old Chirov from Chelsea. Well, I think Chelsea are buying some good players at the moment, so I think there's definitely something you can look at there. KOSTIC is about the Lingard situation. KOSTIC sets, they will say he won't join, then actually Lingard says, yeah, you're probably right. Will Macca feel the pressure from the fans to do well? Well, I don't think he feels. I think he thrives on the pressure. I think he really thrives. I think we've got an absolute diamond there. Papa Firth, good afternoon to you, sir. Hope you're well. Sorry if it offends, but those calling for Moyes to go, please go back to Football Manager. This is real life, not a game. I totally agree. You've got to stick your wage structure or risk playing on Atlee Marsh. Some people think they're playing FIFA with free money. Come on, do you know what? You're totally right, my friend. Gary, you're totally right. There's a wage structure. The same as your job, as your work. If someone comes in and gets twice, and you find out he's on twice as much money as you, you're going straight to your boss and asking for that to be, similar levels. And if not, you're going to do them for, favouritism, aren't you? Really? So, trust you, Russ. I'm very happy with the CORNET deal, who had 9 points by himself. I totally agree. You should make a video ranking all the Prem kits. I think people like Thogden have done all that in it. Nah, I think it's we're not. Nah, I don't think it'll work, mate. But I appreciate you anyway. Thanks, Dabs. It would be good to see 2 of the young players break into first team as squad regulars. I personally think it will happen this year. Definitely happen with one, with Harrison Ashby. Definitely. Onana wants 130 pay rise. You cannot be serious. Indeed. Ice Cream Man, great deal. CORNET looks a bargain, and don't buy from Carpet Right. There we go. Fair enough. A little bit of consumer advice from GP. No cover for our midfield. You ain't telling me that boy's Prem players need CMs. Now we do need something. Happy birthday, Ian, as well. It's Jake's birthday and Ian. Good afternoon to you. Happy you well. Also, there's a rumour that Everton were interested in Brozier, but that didn't materialise. Apparently, West Ham. I was reading something from Alex Cook from Talk Sport. And he said that West Ham basically were ghosted by Chelsea for the Brozier. All the Brozier rules fell off mid-season. Those guys not consistent. Does Moyes and co realise the season starts this week? They certainly do. Need to cash in a deal while decent money being offered. Moyes has lost the plot. Failed at Man United. Well, Ferguson left when he knew his legacy had been tarnished because the squad are ageing. Same as Wenger did as well. Crap manager, no plan, has to go. Oh, I do love you. Moyes could consider Brownhill again. Well, I think the way Burnley are playing at the moment, I think Brownhill might stay. Chances they'll be up next season. Russ can get Kaz on the show. We've had Kaz on the show before, actually. But we've got a little clip from Kaz. He's on holiday at the moment. But that'll be tomorrow. We're in advanced talks with CORNET. Then the deal could be announced, indeed. Pat Sharp, I don't think he's a West Ham fan, GP. If he is, let me know. Onana going to is simply agent talk. Simple as that. Well, I can't see how Onana could pay the money. He's a class manager. What's with all the haters? Sorry, Moyes can't find himself. could find himself first 10 games sacked. Maybe. We've got a tough run. Let's be honest, we've got a tough run. And Moisey himself says, you know, in that interview with Ken Dyer, he basically says that football's a funny game, but having longevity, you've got a bit of luck, but you've got to sort of know what you're doing. So we'll see. We are not in talks with Cornet. That's a hoax, says Paul. Do you think Cornet is a Moyes signing or GSB? Moyes, I think it's a Moyes signing. If we'd signed Onana, someone would have made a song out of the old Banana Splits theme tune. There we go. Any update on Onana? Apart from he wants to go to Everton. Has anyone mentioned it on? No. Would Onana even start? I don't think he would. Does Noble have the shortest retirement in Premier League history? Yeah, exactly. Wheel him back out. It's like a wrestling retirement, isn't it? For anyone who follows wrestling, someone retires, they'll be back 3 weeks later. He's not back in training yet. No, not yet. Onana phone and his head was turned. Must have promised him first team football every week. And £150,000, £135,000 a week's probably helped. Lampard. He's being, you got to think, and also I do think there could be something with Martinez, as being the Belgium coach, but also being former Everton manager. It's a World Cup year as well, so he wants a good chance of getting in. I think he would do at Everton. I don't think he would get first team football outright at West Ham. You'd have to work for it, which I think I'd prefer, to be honest, than somebody walks straight into the side. It's like I don't think Skamaka's walking straight into the side. I don't think he'll start on Sunday. I think he'll come off the bench and have to prove it, but we'll see. Russ and Harris Ashby sitting in a tree. Indeed, that's me. Everyone's failed at United since Ferguson. You're totally right. When I went to West Ham shop, said the third kit is definitely white, but he's unsure on the second colour. West Ham are aiming to release it on the 18th. There we go. Can't pay Onana. Club will be on the brink of extinction. I'm gutted Okafox has gone to Derby. Indeed. I am, but I think it's the right move for him. It comes to a point where, for his development, going and getting some loan time. And actually, I know Anton made a reference to this a long time ago, that Ben Foster did a great one of his podcasts, and he spoke about, being offered to go out and loan, and he'd recommend it to any young player just to get game time. He's not getting game time. He's smashing it down the 23s, but it's different playing with, people who are older than you and more experienced as well, and bigger and uglier as well. So we'll see. In Italy, said KOSTIC Juventus. I think that's going to happen. To use a joy seeing Moyes team fail, but West Ham have been great. We totally have been. Could have done Venezia start. We could have. We've got to play them all eventually. If West Ham fans are always frustrated, rumours are why I have no hair. We've made some quality signings, best transfer for years. I totally agree. Everyone's talking to each other. This is the trouble with us. Need players. We were paying Yarmolenko 100 and he wasn't the first team player, but that was part of the old regime as well. So that's the trouble. We always used to feel our fixtures at the start, but now we're a different team. We are. Pedro. Yeah, I'll talk about Pedro Obiang. That's what I'm talking about. Onana, do me a favour. I'd rather put one of our own in for free. Can you dig it? Wow. I think it's perfect that Okaflex has gone on loan. I totally agree. Well, if we're going to a team that should have been relegated last season, it goes to show footballers prefer the dosh instead of ambition and desire to improve them. It certainly does. West Ham away kit is white, coral, and bright yellow. Lovely. If Skamaka will start, I can see Moyes using Bowen, Antonio, and one other just behind. I think they will be. Is this Oka's last year? I don't think so. But also, he's not going to get into this year. He doesn't qualify for the conference in playing comfortable because he hasn't been in the club for 2 years. So he's not going to get a game like that either. So it's, for me, I think it's the right move for him. Cornet will make our attack lethal and has pace as well. We don't have an abundance of. We don't have many quick players, so we will have hopefully a quick player and a skillful player and a player who can play about 3 different positions as well. Do we need a creative midfielder? I would love Gibbs White. The 10 spot is interesting. Could you be seeing a situation where, I don't know, so I'm just going to put you on hold. Mrs. Budden's calling. Sorry about that. Life and doing, and with families and friends and stuff like that. That number 10, I'm just a bit worried about that number 10 role, to be honest. In all honesty. So I'm just logging in to do something. Strangers is also due to a medical, 2 midfielders at once. He's a bit weird. Skamaka will start once he started to do it. You're totally right. Right, how do I move this? So I'm trying to do this thing for flow. Quick transfer. £24. No, not £24. Transfer now. Okay. That's good. These Go Henry cards. Very clever. Can we please beat Brighton this season? We'll try our best. We'll try our darndest, right, won't we? We always try. Moyes appeared to fail because some of the egos there. I think same as Wenger. I know this whole thing of Moyes failed. I think anyone would fail. They had, Van Gaal failed. He was a good manager. There's some good managers who failed there. What would be your alternatives? I watched him. Didn't really impress me for sure. I would say... don't know. I mean, maybe we go back in for Zielinski. Who knows? But he's a different type of player. Would you take Pep from Arsenal? No, I wouldn't. I don't think so. Has now closed all talks with West Ham as player doesn't see the move as productive. Oh, because he's not going to give him the money. It was David Moyes on the phone. There we go. Cornet was Burnley's bright spark. Yeah, exactly. Where he played left back and left wing back. Oh, that's crazy, isn't it? Number 10 role, is it cheese or ham? Very good. So yeah, that number 10 role I think is going to be quite interesting. Lanzini's coming to the end of his career really at West Ham, I'd say. Not massive many seasons left. Ben Rama's still got to prove. Fornals could play there. I mean, we bought Fornals as a 10 originally when we bought him for Villarreal. So that's the position I'd like to see. I think Cornet will give us that left side that we need, but now it's that 10 position. I'd like someone who's like one name on the team sheet. Do you know what I mean? Pardon me. So all the rest, most of the team you could probably pick, but that 10 is still a bit. It used to be the left side as well, but I think Cornet hopefully will be that. Flash is at 10. Give the lad a go. I just want to beat Forest, says Jason. Daniel, good. Are you playing good? Daniel, beat bad. Daniel, I did it. Claren Hugh confirmed he's not in the squad for City as he's not fit enough. We'll wait and see, innit? We'll wait and see. It's a bit early. Still got another 3 days, so we'll see. We will not win any. Paul and the joys of spring. We will not win any of our first 6 games. True. We'll see. We will stuff City this time. I put a 10 in it. Mac can score 20s on it. Can we start a throwing coach? Yes. I hope so. I hope we sort out our throw-ins. We seem to be the only club in the world who always loses the ball on a throw-in. And the trick is, you don't have to throw it forward. Throw it back. They always line up, and Antonio lines up and they throw it and he knocks on, he tries to knock it back. Just throw it back to Dors, throw it back to Zuma and start from the back. Cocker from Feyenoord. Yeah, great shout. Yeah, good shout. Cornet left Benny 10 maybe. Well, I think so. It could be. I think it could be a good shout. Or Vlasic Cam. Yeah. If Rice holds and Suchek goes forward with Benny, Bowen, Antonio, we wouldn't need anyone in the middle. You're totally right. Chelsea signing Koulibaly and the Villa youngster need to recoup some funds. Tavor Chalobah is being looked at by the club and reasonable fee of £25 million. Better than Onana, in my opinion. Good player. He's a good player, Chalobah. But the whole thing with Brozier, and it's just going to, I don't know. Put your house on it, says Paul. Traore. I mean, I can see us getting a 10 million quid apparently for Traore. I'd say that's worth a punt. Could you imagine? I thought Paul Nevin was set piece, so why can't throw in for? He's at a set piece probably. Mike Dean will do us a favour on Sunday. No, he won't. Why don't we go for either Fofana or Lucas Paqueta? Apparently, we were looking at Paqueta. There's another one we were looking at. I would love Traore. What's with the Bowen? I think it's not. I just think that's the money that it's going to take to get Bowen. That's the price tag. Same as we know Declan Rice is 150,000. If you want to buy Declan Rice, it's 150 million. And I think you want to buy Bowen, apparently it's 75 million. We could not beat ourselves. True. But selves should be SELVES, Paulie boy. Man City with a debatable penalty from Mike Dean, guaranteed. Traore is one of the best dribblers on stats in the league, in all the leagues. Coming on for the last 20 minutes would be outrageous. It would be, and I think, for me, I think it's what I quite like the idea of is if we get in Cornet on the left, for example, then I really want to see Antonio being utilised as that impact player, which I think he could do really well. And someone like him would be amazing as well. Traore, could you imagine? Because he doesn't want to join us. Apparently that's so. But, he's got bigger fish to fry, I think, by the sounds of it. I saw a post, the Forest game has been picked for TV. Let's break our curse, losing to promoted sides. Let's try. Don't say Martin will do us a favour. They're complete opposite to that, Russ. Indeed, he won't do. Russ, which player do you think will be the biggest surprise? Hopefully a good surprise. For us, I think Skamaka, but it's not really a surprise. I think he's a good player. GP calls in, no one can catch him. Isn't Mike Dean retired now? He is, but he's working with VAR. Adama is a beast. He is indeed. He's working for VAR. Could be deployed on the right through the middle. I think on the left, I think it could be good as well, because he hugs that left wing anyway, really. I'm an Everton fan, and West Ham have moved ahead of us in recent years, but looks like Lampard is building something. Thomas, fair play, mate, but I think you may be 135 grand a week he wants, mate. 135 grand a week for a 20-year-old who's made 55 appearances in his career. I think if you start a precedence like that, you're going to get people coming to you for lots of money. Villa are the same. Yes, they've got someone like Diego Carlos, but he's 200 grand a week. They've got Boubacar Kamara, who's I think is a great player for Marseille on free. He's 180 grand a week. If you don't get success, you're up shit creek without a paddle, in all honesty. Cornet on the left, Traore on the right, Bowen number 10. Oh, lovely. Dawson will leave Haaland over his knee. Traore is a good sprinter. He cannot cross. Pass or control. Michael Oliver, he is indeed. Any news? That hasn't been. That's gone a bit quiet actually. But as I said, he's probably quite likely to move on. If Mack are not fit, could he be? Doesn't play for the first 6 games. I think I'll try and get him as soon as possible. I agree, everyone going on about Haaland and Nunez, they do well, but I think especially from set pieces could bag close to 20. Skamaka does take free kicks as well, so that's good. Zelensky wants 100 grand a week, apparently he does. After the City game, I want Haaland to say Dawson was the toughest player I've come up against. It'd be great. Traore is a speedboat with no rudder. I like that though. Let's put the house on Raspadori. Let's put him on. We start paying more, not only 30, but I'll get no one. Yeah, fair enough. Is Dawson defo playing as he has stuff off the field? I don't know, to be honest. Paul, be quiet, Paul. Shut up. Support your local team, Scar, but not Paul. Doesn't Paul? No, Paul. No, Paul. End of the day, Paul. Everyone has a right to support whatever team they want. We have fans. We've got fans here from India, from Thailand, from Australia, from America. They do what they do. At the end of the day, Paul, they have different attitudes to you. They have different opinions. Some people, and sometimes, Paul, I don't agree with what you say, and I'm guaranteed that sometimes you don't agree with what I say. But we say things nicely. And so just let's we're all one friendly family. Anton's in Scotland, for God's sake, you know what I mean? So there you go. I don't agree with that, mate. Traore would be suited to rugby union. Take a breath. I've got to go in a minute. That's why we seem to be bringing in more players when we were fighting relegation and on stupid money. Well, I think we've learned Gaza, that issue, and it takes so long to keep them on the wage bill. And I mean, we've just got rid of Yarmolenko, really, who was on £100,000 a week. Anton is Welsh. He's supposed to be Scottish, but there we go. I am assuming Everton has guaranteed a starting role and Moyes wouldn't do that. Yeah, and totally he shouldn't. And he shouldn't. You shouldn't say, yeah, you're walking into the first team. Because what does that do? Can we have some parliamentary procedure here? Gio Scott, exactly. Apparently, CORNET Medical could be as early as today, according to multiple reports. Lovely. I'm Welsh and support West Ham. I'm not from London. If I could be a West Ham fan, that would. Yeah, I think we sort of understand that now. Antonio left wing Skamaka. Oh, that's what I'd like. I don't think will happen. That's what I like. Russ, you're my surrogate father, and I'm older than you. There we go. Thank you very much, ladies and gents. I'm going to have to shoot in a minute. I'm from London. There's no reason for people loving a club that could be a manager. Don't matter where you're from, as long as you bleed claret and blue. Indeed. Well said, ugly guy. As I said, I'll be back 5 o'clock today. Hammer's headlines, talking about the West Ham women. They've signed some good players as well. Some good players coming in, so keep an eye out for that. And we talk about Antonio, and we talk about David Moyes' interview as well. Yeah, sounds good. And as I said, I'll be back. And tomorrow, make sure you don't forget the lunchtime show tomorrow. We're going to talk about the season ahead. And you can get all your opinions. Paul, you can give us your opinion about where you think West Ham are going to finish next season. Everyone else as well. And we're going to have some videos packages from the likes of West Ham clips and how West Ham clips things like this season's going to be for West Ham. Stuart Slater, Robbie Slater, some extra other players as well. So it'll be all fun and games. As I said, if you're new around here, give it a like, give it a comment, give it a share, and give it a bloody good subscribe. I'll be back at 5 o'clock tonight, and then we start getting ready for Sunday. We're going to have the new look preview, which will be on Saturday night, match day morning, Sunday morning, that type of thing, and all that good stuff. Also, while we're here, I'd like to thank all our other channel members. And if you want to become a channel member, hit the join button and become a channel member and get into our weekly draws. Every month we do a memorabilia draw, which will be on tomorrow, which we'll do tomorrow for the August draw. So take care, everyone. Stay safe, wash your hands, stay lucky, stay cheeky, stay positive, stay friendly. And I'll see you guys very, very soon. Ta-ta for now, my friends. Bye-bye.
It's like a family tree, part of you and part of me. And if we should separate,